Who was Vlad the Impaler and why is he famous? Vlad the Impaler, also known as Vlad III Dracula or Vlad Tepes, was the Prince of Wallachia, a region in modern-day Romania, in the mid-15th century. He is famous for his brutal methods of punishment, including impaling his victims on stakes, which earned him the nickname Vlad the Impaler. Vlad's reputation as a cruel and ruthless ruler spread far beyond the borders of Wallachia, and he became infamous throughout Europe. Some of the stories that circulated about him were likely exaggerated or fabricated, but there is no doubt that he was a brutal and violent ruler who was feared by his enemies and his own subjects. Despite his reputation for cruelty, Vlad is also remembered as a national hero in Romania, where he is seen as a defender of the country against foreign invaders. Today, he is a popular figure in popular culture, and he has been depicted in numerous books, films, and television shows. Vlad's childhood and family background. Vlad was born in 1431 in the Transylvanian city of Sighisoara, which was part of the Kingdom of Hungary at the time. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order established by the Holy Roman Emperor to defend Christianity in Eastern Europe. Vlad's father was also the voivode, ruler, of Wallachia, a region in modern-day Romania. Vlad's mother was a Transylvanian noblewoman, and he had two older brothers, Mircea and Radu. When Vlad was just a baby, his father was assassinated, and he and his brother Mircea were taken as prisoners by the Ottoman Empire. They were held in Turkey for several years before being released and returning to Wallachia. Vlad's older brother Mircea was later blinded and buried alive on the orders of their father's political rivals, and Vlad was left to succeed him as the ruler of Wallachia. How did Vlad become the ruler of Wallachia? After his father's assassination and his brother Mircea's death, Vlad inherited the throne of Wallachia in 1448 at the age of 17. However, his rule was not uncontested, and he faced several challenges to his authority. One of Vlad's main rivals was his older brother Radu, who had been held captive in the Ottoman Empire along with Vlad and Mircea. Radu had converted to Islam while in Ottoman custody and had become a favorite of the Ottoman Sultan, who supported Radu's claim to the throne of Wallachia. Vlad was able to defeat Radu and secure his rule, but he faced ongoing challenges from other rival factions and from the Ottoman Empire, which sought to expand its control over the region. Vlad was able to maintain his rule for several years, but he was eventually deposed and replaced by another ruler in 1462. He regained the throne briefly in 1476, but was killed in battle later that year. What were some of the most famous, or infamous, things that Vlad did during his time as ruler? Vlad is most famous, or infamous, for his brutal methods of punishment, which included impaling his victims on stakes. He was said to have impaled thousands of people during his reign, including his own subjects, political rivals, and invading armies. Vlad was also known for his cruelty towards thieves and murderers, whom he punished by amputating their limbs or blinding them. He was also said to have had a particular hatred for the Ottoman Empire, and he is reported to have impaled hundreds of Ottoman prisoners of war. In addition to his cruelty, Vlad is also known for his efforts to improve the economy and administration of Wallachia. He established a standing army, built new fortifications, and implemented various economic and social reforms. However, these efforts were overshadowed by his reputation as a brutal and ruthless ruler. How did the legend of Dracula, the vampire, come to be associated with Vlad the Impaler? The legend of Dracula, the famous vampire, was inspired by the historical figure of Vlad the Impaler. Bram Stoker's 1897 novel, Dracula, popularized the legend of the vampire, but it was not the first time that the story of Vlad the Impaler had been linked with the myth of the vampire. The legend of Dracula may have been influenced by the folktales and superstitions of the region in which Vlad lived, as well as by the gruesome stories that circulated about his brutal methods of punishment. The association of Vlad with the vampire myth may also have been influenced by the fact that his father was a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order whose emblem was a dragon. Today, Vlad the Impaler is most famous as the inspiration for the character of Dracula, and he is often remembered as a legendary vampire rather than as a historical figure. Overall, Vlad is still remembered today as a complex and controversial figure, who was both a ruthless tyrant and a defender of his country.